Where do I find good deals as a beginning real estate investor if I'm limited on money? So what I've done is have my team put together an entire compilation of videos that I've done over the last few years that will help you in getting your first deal. Now, this particular video is based on driving for dollars. And what I'm doing is I'm giving you all of the game that you need in order to be successful at driving for dollars from A to Z. Enjoy it. For those of you who don't know what driving for dollars is, it's basically driving around neighborhoods looking for houses that give evidence that it's vacant or something like that. You want to take down the addresses and find the seller. Basically, all you need to do when it comes to driving for dollars is find a farming area, which 9 times out of 10 is going to be the area where investors are already buying. Driving around, if you see any houses with like stickers on it, like on the doors, like yellow stickers from like the cities, code violations and stuff like that, maybe pink slips, you definitely want to take those down. If you see properties with newspaper piled up in the front, if you see tall grass, that would be the ideal type of property. So Alyssa, when we driving for dollars, what type of houses are we looking for? Like, do you remember, right?
We're supposed to look for houses that look really bad and run down.
Right, houses that need some work, they look bad, they're run down pretty much, right? And are we looking in bad neighborhoods? Are we looking in decent neighborhoods? What type of neighborhoods are we looking in?
Decent, I guess.
Decent neighborhoods, right? And are we looking to pay top dollar for these houses?
No.
Right, so we got to get it at a discount. We want to look for an area with houses that are at least 30 years old. What ends up happening is you find seasoned properties. The more seasoned the properties are, the more chances you have of finding properties that need work. And in turn, you find more motivation with distressed properties. So these are physically distressed properties that you're looking for when you're driving for dollars. When you're driving for dollars looking for apartment buildings or some type of multi-unit properties, it's really the same thing that you're going to be looking for when it comes to single family properties. The difference is you're probably not going to have the piled up newspapers, and you're not necessarily looking for vacancies in a multi-unit. But really, I'm looking for telltale signs that a property needs some work. I'm looking at the size of the complex. I'm looking at how old the roof looks or appears to look. I'm looking at the windows. I'm looking at the exterior to really get a general idea of how well taken care of the property is. And then I'm going to take down the address, do my research to find out who the seller is. And then once we do that, we're going to contact them. There's 3 things that you need in order to get started driving for dollars online. The first thing you need is access to zip codes. The second thing that you need is access to the tax assessor's website. You can get that for free right in your local area. And the last thing that you need is access to Google Maps. All we're doing is using melissadata.com to get access to the zip codes and the streets within those zip codes. Once you have the streets in a particular area, then you go to the tax assessor's website. And once you get to the tax assessor's website, the general idea is to go ahead and search for absentee owned properties. And once you find these absentee owned properties, you can go to Google Maps, type in the address, and ultimately drive the street. So you're literally driving for dollars online. So Alyssa, what do you notice about this house?
It's really run down.
All right, so is this a good house or is it a bad house?
It's a good house.
Alyssa, why is this house a good house?
Because it just looks vacant. It's not like it doesn't look like anybody's taking care of it, really.
All right, so what do you notice about the outside of the property to tell that it's vacant?
The grass is really tall.
Right. So usually when people live in a house, they cut the grass, right? So you got tall grass. Also, do you notice any cars here?
No.
No cars, right? So that's a telltale sign that this is probably a vacant house. All right, y'all. So we just pulled up to another property here. The property is pretty well maintained, but at the same time, it looks pretty dated, right? So this is actually a good property to check on. Looking at the windows and stuff, the windows could be updated, and that's a telltale sign of what the inside can potentially look like. If the outside isn't as updated as it needs to be, chances are it has like an older kitchen in there, older bathrooms, older amenities. So this is definitely a property I personally would look into. This area has everything in it. So if you can see the pattern in what we're looking for multiple units in areas that have easy access to shopping centers and things like that to be able to accommodate the people that live in the apartment. Now, you see that house right here? What's the first thing you notice on it though? The roof. You got missing shingles all up and down that roof. You see that? What's the next thing you notice?
Maybe the shutters and windows.
Shutters and windows, right? And this could be a property owner, or this could be somebody that's just living there renting the house. We don't know, right? But you got the windows, the roof needs work, the windows need work, and just looking at the overall landscape, the front door is just not well kept. It needs paint on the outside. This is the type of property that you're looking for, right? What we really want to do is just find the owner. So I would start with a very low budget. I would start by going to the tax assessor's website, netaronline.com. Remember that? And just find out if the owner lives in a different location than this house. If the owner lives in a different location, that's somebody that we want to contact. See, houses like this right here, this has furniture in the front. People trying to, people live there. They're trying to take care of the property. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for something just like this. Let's stop right here. Let's pull over and get out on this one. This is a perfect property right here. What do you think, just looking at this right here, what do you think makes this a good property? Why is this the ideal? We driving for dollars. Why is this the ideal property that you're looking for?
It looks unoccupied and
Unoccupied.
it needs work.
Needs work, right? Look at you got the gutter over here hanging off. The roof needs work. The front door, I'm willing to bet that there's some glass broken on that door somewhere. So that's why they got the yard is trashed. Let's walk over here for a minute. The shrubbery, everything about this says it's vacant and it needs work. Everything about this. So this is exactly what you looking for. So when you're driving around these nice, look at the neighborhood though. Now look at the neighborhood. The neighborhood is not terrible, right? But this is the eyesore in the neighborhood. This place has been vacant for what? How many years would you say? 5 years? And you don't know her last name?
No, I don't.
And she's in a nursing home right now? So the place needs a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to her son and see what we can get accomplished. I'm sorry, what was your name?
Hi, I'm Miss Landis.
Miss Landis, I'm Jamel. Pleasure to meet you. So you talk to the neighbors, right?
Yes.
So she gave us some information. So now we know that the house been vacant for 5 years, minimum, right? It's been vacant for 5 years. Her son doesn't really care about the property. He said, y'all fix it yourself. So now when we contact him with a cash offer or contact her, she's in a nursing home. They probably want to get rid of this house at this point. So you get out, you talk to the neighbors. You see the neighbors, you talk to them, get more information, just talking. That's it. That's all we do, asking questions. I made a mistake on this because I was about to pass this because the windows look relatively newer. The house is pretty clean, but if you notice all of the shingles on the roof, they're lifting. But then more importantly, look at the corner. You see that? Obviously, nobody's fixing that. So do we want to take down this address? It's probably a vacant house. Either it's vacant, or they're renting the house, or they're just not taking care of it properly. This one right here, you see this right here? Look at that roof. Again, decent area. Yeah, there's apartments across the street. This area is a little different than that area down there. But again, this house is it's evident that it needs work. This house is not vacant, but you could kind of see it needs some work on the outside. You got the roof, you got the gutters. I mean, you don't really have a grass issue or nothing like that. The windows are in pretty decent shape. But this might be somebody who don't have the funds to pick up to fix up the property. So this might be a good prospect, but I like vacant properties. But this is something similar to what we're looking for in order to be able to create some type of situation. So when you drive in these neighborhoods, you really got to look for. You're almost looking for the worst house in the best neighborhoods. So on this house, you got the two-tone roof, right? That means that they patched that roof up. You got a major. I can stick my finger inside that that foundation on the front. There's major foundation issues. That's why nobody probably live on this side. I'm wondering. I don't know if it's a two. This might be a one unit. This might be a single family, but in fact, I do think it's a single family. I doubt somebody's actually going to live in there with the foundation issue like that. There's going to be some major problems in there. So you take down this address, you contact this seller. Somebody might be inside, but chances are they don't want to be inside. I would take this down. You want to be honest with people. I try to take the approach of just being honest all the time and not sounding like a salesperson. People are bogged down with sales stuff all the time. So if you get, the more real and authentic you can be with people, the more chances you have of them responding to you and they look at you like a real person rather than a salesperson. Don't worry about the 99% of the people that's going to tell you no. Worry about the 1%. Keep digging for gold. This is like digging through the dirt to get to the gold. So you see this one right here is a good one. You got stuff on the front of the house. Yeah. The house needs work, man. You just look around, you can tell it needs work. This is like the perfect type of house that you want to be looking at. It needs pressure washing. It really needs new siding. You know what I mean? You're not necessarily looking for a hood house. Yeah. You're looking for a decent house in a nice neighborhood. So like this type of house in this area is not too bad, right? This might be a good one to look at. And on top of that, you know, if you could find this type of house in a nicer area, then you got gold. This is a perfect example. That house had a fire. You could tell. This is what you're looking for. Now, you're not going to find this all of the time. So most of the time, you're going to find houses that need a small amount of cosmetic work on the outside. This is a telltale sign right here. You got tall grass, right? The house is obviously vacant. But this house looked like it had some fire damage or something like that. I'm willing to bet. This house is definitely condemned. So what do? You take down the address, find out who owns. Somebody owns this property, right? Somebody owns it. And because somebody owns this property, you could find out who the owner is, go to the tax records, find out who the owner is, and then contact them. The worse off the house is, the better. You know what I mean? You're looking for the problem.
Okay.
Most people gonna, like you just said it. You would have bypassed this house. Most people gonna do that if they don't understand real estate. Don't look at it like the typical person that's looking for a house. Look at it like, look, most people gonna bypass this. There's an opportunity right there. The more work that a house actually needs, that just says dollar sign. That just tells me that there's dollar signs in there.
Gotcha.
Here's some tips that you can use if you want to focus on fire damaged properties. Contact the local fire departments and ask them if they keep a list of houses that recently had fires. Contact the homeowners insurance companies and ask them for direction on how they can get a list, how you can get a list of houses that recently had fires that they've insured. It's not going to work everywhere, but it doesn't hurt to try. And remember, this is a numbers game. You got to keep contacting people. You got to follow up with them just like you do with a regular property owner in the first place. Once you drive for dollars and you find some properties, what's the number one thing that you got to do? You got to follow up, follow up, follow up. If you don't follow up and you're not actually getting in contact with the sellers, then you're just wasting your time. All right, so there you have it, my Driving for Dollars compilation. Hope that you guys benefited from this. Let me know what you thought about these Driving for Dollars tips as well. And if you want me to create more compilations or fresh information regarding real estate investing and finding good deals, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section and let me know how you feel about that. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell. I'll see y'all in the next one.